All right, welcome back for another deep dive into some fascinating opening lines. You know how this works?
Yeah.
We take a look at a famous first line.
Yeah.
And we try to see if it really does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, hook you in.
Absolutely.
And this time we are going to Dubliners by James Joyce.
Uh-huh.
And I think most people would agree Dubliners is a classic.
It is.
It's, one of those books
Yeah.
that a lot of people have read and heard of. And the question is, does the opening line live up to the hype of the book? So are you ready to hear this opening line?
Let's hear it.
Okay, here it is. There was no hope for him this time. It was the third stroke.
Wow. Wow.
That is talk about jumping right in.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's pretty stark, right? What do you think, just your initial reaction to that?
It's bleak. I mean, it's very, it's a punch in the gut kind of opening line. Like, there's no hope. It's the third stroke. Like, we're done. We're over. It's finished.
Yeah. And we're only, 11 words in?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot to unpack here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, the big question is, who is him?
Yeah.
What were the first two strokes? What is this third stroke?
Yeah.
But just in terms of grabbing the reader's attention, I mean, this definitely does that.
I think so. I mean, if I were to read that as like an innocent reader, just picking up the book for the first time, I would definitely want to know more. I have to know, what are these strokes? Why is there no hope? Who is this guy?
Yeah, and I think that, obviously every opening line is going to be, try to set a tone for the work. And I think this does that masterfully.
Absolutely.
Because it mentioned stark. It's very stark. It's bleak. It's depressing.
Very melancholic. And, reading Dubliners, having read Dubliners, I think it's safe to say that tone of melancholy and kind of almost this quiet desperation permeates the entire work. I mean, it's very much about those themes of societal struggle and, not quite being able to achieve your dreams. So I think it really sets the stage well for what the reader's about to experience.
Yeah, and I think also, this is not the first time we've done this. We look at a lot of opening lines, and sometimes I think an opening line is just there.
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, we need to start the book somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
But
I think this is a case where, if you're familiar with Joyce, if you're familiar with Dubliners, this is not just any opening line.
No, it's very deliberate, and I think Joyce knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very deliberate with his language and with his structure and with, the overall feeling and tone of his work. And I think this opening line is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
This is him saying, this is what you're in for.
Yeah.
Get ready.
So I guess that kind of brings us back to, the original question.
Yeah.
Which is, does this opening line work?
Yeah.
And it seems like you think it does.
I think so. I mean, it's so striking. It's so memorable. It sets the tone so well. And it really makes you want to keep reading and find out more. So I would say, this is a successful opening line for sure.
All right. Well, folks, there you have it. Another deep dive into a fascinating opening line. And I think this one is a winner for sure.
It's a good one. Yeah.
If you haven't read Dubliners, I think we both recommend it.
I would agree.
It's a tough read. It's,
But it's a rewarding one.
Yeah. But that's life.
That's true.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So until next time, keep those pages turning.